Well, Pezza, it was an absolute clinic. And this show, indeed, the World Cup, the Chop Out, is brought to you by my close personal friend, this man.
Now delivering in 10 minutes.
Pezza, Matthew Hayden was flying the flag on commentary today as Australia just calmly dismantled a very good English cricket team. And they were showing the highlights of the last time that, a T20 World Cup was in the Caribbean. They played the final, of course, and whatever year that was, and England won the game. Doss just fucking seething. And Ian Ward, about maybe 15, 30 seconds after the highlights had rolled, asked him about what his thoughts were in the game itself. And Doss just said, my thoughts are, you win one game every 2 decades, and I'm saying a lot of highlights. And I thought, fucking hell, I am pumped up. I'm seeing shoulders from here to Africa.
Yeah.
It's the chest, it's the fucking face, it's a big old smiling dish looking at me, And I'm just thinking, oh, Matthew Hayden, you have made my day. And I think the sentiment here is what I'm trying to capture is that I don't care that Australia's won this game, but what I would have cared about is seeing England suck themselves off having beaten Australia in this game if that's what would happen. So I just feel relief. I just feel relief.
Exactly, and on the Doss point as well, Doss is prone to a couple of verbal salads, that aren't quite the Waldorf, And that's okay. That's okay. It's like when your family is open to sledging. You can sledge your own family. Yeah. But if someone from England's doing it to Doss, and then Doss comes and dunks on them, fucking go Doss. You know what I'm saying?
Get the fucking
and they were bookending in with their with the posh manner, with the one button extra undone, unnecessary. Doss sitting there, it's probably had 1,000 drinks in the most recent nights and everything else. Yeah. Got a bit of jerk chicken,
Yeah.
Who hasn't, by the way?
Of course.
And he absolutely nails it there.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
and it kind of says it all. I agree. Australia's through. Australia's through to the next round just about now, you'd say. This game meant absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. All this really means is that the incidence of relaxation pictures on Instagram from the players is going to double now. Australia looks well put together.
Yeah.
But honestly, the game meant nothing. England will probably get good. There's 40 more games before this World Cup starts, so...
Could England win the World Cup? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Could they be playing better cricket if they play each other again in 3 weeks' time or whatever? Yeah. Probably. There was enough there. Yeah. So, I was able to see Hazelwood rolling in, doing his thing. Do
you think, as Australians, Pez, we're getting into that stage of I don't care about the win, I just don't want them to win.
That's
because
life.
we know what the pomp and circumstance, which is which is the cultural thing, as is their want. I just want to avoid that. We're getting into sick of winning territory, but I just feel relief.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not happy.
Yeah, I agree.
Is anyone happy watching that? I'm just relieved.
Yeah, that's a luxury from our perspective though as well. But the most extreme emotion that could be felt is relief at England not winning, for sure. Yeah. Over us winning. Yeah. I completely agree. I mean, I do think it's a theme through this World Cup, and if I were to put a poll out and say which of our shows was more watched, the one that was titled Dhoni, 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 click, 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 or Pakistan crumble, it's the latter already in 24 hours. Yeah. I mean, some nations just like watching their enemies lose.
That's right.
Who leads the way more than England with that? Just watch the Premier League. I mean, it's just a phenomenon. And today's that day. Today I'm just glad they didn't win. I didn't have to listen.
Exactly. Yeah. Has anyone ever watched Arsenal Fan TV after Arsenal have won a game?
Exactly.
No one's ever watched it. I don't even know if they do shows.
Yeah. No, Australia's looking okay. Should we get into the three things?
Yeah.
Australia start fast, so Head and Warner do some stuff. This is going to be the theme of Australia's shows, by the way, because I'm actually mainly, as we said with the Oman game, I'm concerned things haven't gone wrong yet. We need problems to solve. We need Zampa's got no receipts to collect just yet. It's all looking very cruisy. But England, throw a little spanner in the works and open with Moeen Ali and Will Jacks, and they respect the Moeen Ali, and they went, Will Jacks, come on.
Yeah. Come on, boys.
Come on,
grow up.
And so he's taken down to Chinatown there.
Yeah. That's next to the ground.
Which is next to the ground, and that's where they'll go after play, and because both teams are sets of friends. But
a couple of dumplings.
Yeah, and this is a T20 game where you couldn't go 3 balls without mention of the short side. Oh, there's a short side. They're targeting it. It's like targeting the captain.
Yeah, that's right. How are you going to do that?
Not really, actually.
Just
Short side's just like, oh yeah, well, because if I just do that, it goes for 6. So.
Basically, the JFK assassination, just target the captain.
Exactly.
That felt forced, that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that was a bit of a stretch.
No, that's good, targeting the captain. Yeah. Or you're also like, there's other things that happen down the road, and is it one brings two, Now, Australia go at 12. Oh, no.
One brings two here, boys.
One brings two here, boys. Come on. Australia go at 12s in the power play. It's good. It's a low, slow deck. It looks like it's quite a lot of runs, and England are going to have to make up for it. Commentators all day were saying they have to match that over of 22 off Will Jacks.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
No.
There's plenty of ways to skin that cat. We've already talked about how you can skin cats. It's not just one way. It's not just sandpaper or just getting a butter knife.
Drive for show, putt for dough. Not really. Just one.
That's right.
Every shot is one.
Yeah, putt for same mathematical value.
The same thing. Yeah.
In each one.
Yeah. Do you think that?
I don't think England bowled that well. I think that's if you look at it different. I don't think they bowled that well in the power play. I think there was too much pace on and too much width.
Can I just talk about the tone we're setting for this World Cup, particularly Australia games? And I feel like I'm only interested in a semi-final, and then we'll get our cocks out. And everything else before then is really just I guess we're waking up to it. Like Australia's been asleep for this game. Like some people who will have their hard drives checked have woken up early on Monday. Well, what day is today? Today's Saturday. Yeah.
Sunday.
So Sunday morning Australia. People who have woken up maybe sort of 3-4 in the morning, watched a bit of cricket if you're into that sort of gear. Not for me personally. And then they'll be like, okay, yeah. So it's an England game, but like this game doesn't matter. None of this matters until like a semi-final. I feel like I'll invest emotionally when it starts to matter, and I feel like Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Am I wrong to feel that way?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a huge reflection of arrogance,
It's
and
arrogant.
that's why people from other nations get deep satisfaction with Australian losses because of this mentality. That it's all too easy. It's so easy that I'm not even going to invest any emotion until there might be something vaguely on the line.
Some sort of jeopardy.
Yeah, and the sheer arrogance of us doing that in connection with other adults winning games of cricket as though we are somehow part of that.
Yeah.
Like it's a reflection on the superiority of the national consciousness. Our nation, there's nothing winning about our nation necessarily. There's just a couple of, it's just a higher incidence of good genes right now in the team.
Australians watch cricket with their arms crossed.
Yeah.
Like looking out the side of the eye.
Yeah.
And that's how I've enjoyed this game.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whilst it's being relieved.
That's right. So
I'm trying to capture the mood of the nation.
England get a couple of wickets at the end of the power play if you want to know what happened. Australia was 70-odd or something, then a couple of wickets. Warner laughed at Mo and Ali bowling him because it came through really slow. And that's when a commentator say, well, Adam Zampa will be licking his lips. Oh, yeah. You have chapped lips by the end. But and then Travis Head plays a shot. You're like, oh, Heady, what is that? And you're like, rough with smooth, Pez, rough with smooth.
Yeah.
No one else in the room.
And you're facing the corner.
That's right. Yeah, housekeeping's trying to get in. I'm like, there's a do not disturb sign on there. I've
got a belt round my neck.
Rough with smooth.
And a tangerine in my mouth.
That's right.
And a bag over my head.
Marshall Maxwell consolidate. 102 for 2 after 10. 50 partnership for 41. Maxwell's starting to show something. Still looks a little rusty for Ron and whatever. It's just one of these games, ladies and gentlemen, where it's just like pace off is the order of the day. Pace off into the deck, and if the batter can pick it and line you up and get to the short side, then a couple of boundaries on offer. The player with the most the spinner with the most skill wins. Which ends up being Zampa. But anyway, do you want to say anything about the rest of that first innings for Australia?
Only in that, if you wake up in the morning as an Australian, you see 201 for 7 on the board, you're thinking like, oh, I hope someone scored bulk runs, and actually everyone's just chipped in with 34, 39, 35, 28, 30. I'm like, oh, I kind of want a daddy.
Yeah, I want a number
sticking
out.
I want a T20 daddy.
Yeah.
That being like
Let a number stick out so I can just think a little bit about that person and everything they're about.
Do I like them? I guess I like them. Good for them.
Right. I always thought they were good,
Yeah. And how does that make me feel? Does that mean I'm good?
That's right, and our nation's good. That's right. Does it reflect on the success of the nation?
Am I gay?
Exactly. Did you see that moment in the game where someone clipped that up, by the way, and send it to me personally?
Can that be the clip from this show that Charlie puts out?
That's it.
and then Coley comes on to 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, a lot of people would love that too.
Okay,
yeah,
delivering in 10 minutes. Yeah.
You see that? Did you see there was a moment where like Adil Rashid was about to bowl a ball and then Wade kind of backed away? Did you see? He backs out of it and then just like sort of blocks it.
Yeah.
And Nitin Menon, it was like he backed out very late.
Yeah.
And then but he clearly blocks it, indicating he wasn't trying to score a run.
Right.
And then Wade just blows up the Lux because Nitin Menon's like, no, it's no dead ball. Yeah. And it was interesting. The English commentator, whoever it was, maybe it was Nasser, I can't remember, was just like, oh, that'll be a dead ball. And then once it wasn't given one, didn't really say much. Happy to go with that decision.
Yeah.
But Nitin Menon didn't give a fuck. And I think it was a bit like, I think Australia was playing for England losing a fielder or having to bring an extra fielder inside the circle as well. I do think there may have been some gamesmanship there. Yeah. Anyway, Australia ends up with 200. 200, and I guess that picks up the second one as well, Higgins, which is like, do you think 200 probably overs on that deck? It was always a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with like scores, like because there are some grounds which are like 230 is attainable, and other grounds where it's like 150 is like pretty good, and like I just don't have the knowledge of Caribbean decks and like where the grounds are, what the names are. There's like, are we playing at Lords because like it looks similar? But I'm seeing what's his name, Lukey Sparrow waving his thing. He's like, okay, it's an away zero. Like I'm into that, but I've got no fucking idea what's a good score. And then they're talking about like short boundary one side. Like, okay, does that equate to anything? But then the long boundaries on the other side. Like, okay, that makes it harder to score boundaries. And once again, I'm hanging from the closet with the tangerine in my mouth the entire time.
Mate, I'm pushing shit up a hill trying to get this belt off my neck. You're asking me whether 200's a good score.
I'm pushing shit uphill, getting this belt off my neck. I've got Dawson commentary firing me up.
That's right.
Yeah, get him, Doss.
Yeah, get off my back. You know what I mean? Just a cricket show trying to ask you whether you think 200 was a good score. It's like, how the fuck do I know? They're in Barbados. I don't know anything about Barbados. I'm just looking at a couple of throbbers with big bats and someone saying there's a short boundary. I don't know what else is happening. And neither do you. Seriously.
I did think it was a good score.
Yeah, no.
I did.
I think there's truth to that, to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey, want now, get now, thanks to these guys.
You.
Well, it's thanks to Big Basket. If you want it in 10 minutes, I apparently can get it in 10 minutes, or thereabouts. Zorba changes it. England are none for 54 in their power play after 6. Yeah. Obviously, a little bit like fewer runs in Australia, but 2 wickets in hand. And you sort of think, well, particularly with that first over after the power play, they take Stark for 19, I think. And you're thinking, geez, Stark, Like, he's going to win the World Cup for us again. Fantastic. So that was good. It was very good to see Stark go the distance there. So we can start to say a few things about it. Where's Nathan Ellis,
Yeah.
But
who's that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Warren Ellis from Nick Cave's co-contributor. But Stark goes for a few. Zorba comes on, and they brought him on the right side to protect from the short boundary, and immediately does the business. Who does he get? Phil Salt, I think.
It's first ball.
He gets Salt first ball. Just clips the top of the stumps there at pace.
Yeah.
Salt's trying to cut it just too full, Phil. And
I've got an issue with watching England because Phil Salt, obviously our close personal friend, did a Manchester show. A ripping bloke.
Yeah.
Like a great.
Got into the shower with us.
And he did. That's right. And so I actively want him to do well.
Yeah.
Because I'm like.
What is that? What does actively want him to do well as opposed to just wanting to do well? What does that look like?
I'm on a treadmill. Get me steps up.
Hey, here goes. Salty's in. Oh, quick.
Get the incline.
Get my sand shoes on. Anyway, so he gets Salt. I'm starting to feel a bit safer again as well. Because Butler's warming up, and Butler's good. When Butler gets going, it's good. But and then
I think Zampa's getting to his era where like people are really respecting the work. Like globally, like it's fucking good.
Big styles, and especially on this deck, low, slow. The way Barbados plays. We all know about that.
Of course.
He's low to the ground. Yeah. There's no bounce. See you later.
Mm-hmm.
Zorba gets Butler, so Butler's trying to reverse most balls to the short side. Cummins takes a catch there.
catch.
Then Jacks goes soon after off Stoinis' bowling start, takes a great catch.
England
England kind of like Australia's only slightly ahead at that point, and then Maxwell comes on and he and Zampa bowl really tight overs to Moeen and Bairstow, which gets the run rate to like 13 or 14, and you're like, now they just everything must go $2 only. King Kong sales, Bathurst Street, and Moeen does go 3 6 from Maxwell's next over.
Yes.
Hazelwood gets Moeen next over. Maxwell takes a catch, gives it to some blokes, giving it to him behind. I did see some blokes like they were pointing at their head, so I don't know if that was the sledge to Maxwell or something. But
yeah, and then he started like blowing his fingers or something.
Yeah,
which I feel like that's like a tennis thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it was drying. He'd painted his nails, and he was just drying them off.
I mean, some of the boys do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then towards the end, like their big hitters came in, Livingston, etc., but just kept hitting boundary riders. So Australia's bowling. Australia summed up the conditions better, I think, and executed a little bit better. And there was a short side, and that's what captains will be saying in the post match. And both teams know that because of the way the tournament has been sorted out, that there was almost nothing riding on this, apart from that little scenario where now people are going to ask Australia to throw the match against Scotland so as to kick England out of the World Cup.
I mean,
there's precedent for throwing matches this World Cup, but
that is true. Are you do you think people waking up in Australia will be a bit upset that this was just kind of like mechanical in the operation of like T20 X's and O's, like got the matchups right, short side, long side, guys contributing all scoring 40, a couple of good chop out overs, like no one's taken a 5, no one scored 100. It's just guys just executing a little bit better than the opposition, and it's like it's 200 plays to 165. Like I'm uninspired by this victory. Fuck, this is arrogant. It's so arrogant. But do you know what I mean? Do you think people would be like, okay, yeah, we just won?
Australians would be like walking past the TV or scrolling or whatever, and if the cricket team has received an exhale out of the nose from everyday Australians, from quiet Australians, hardworking, decent Australians,
right?
Dealing with cost of living pressures.
Yeah. It's not easy for a lot of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then Cricket Australia should be happy.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's like, how'd the baggers go?
Yeah.
Like,
if this is like the 7th news item, then Australia's doing pretty well.
I think it will be a news item that Australia's beaten England at something.
That is
but then there'll just be
something.
numbers and a couple of highlights and maybe Zampa like cheering, and then it will just go to the next news item.
Yeah, see, that's exactly my point. Like, who did what? Zampa 2 for 28 off 4.
Bowled excellently.
Oh, yeah, outstanding, yeah. Runs, Davey up top, got 30.
I heard, it's like, and these guys play against each other so much as well. It's like when Zampa came into bowl to Butler, it's like, mate, he's only got him out 3 times in T20s. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, and 5 times in 1 day. It's like, is that good? Have they played against each other 80 times? Or I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but X's and O's T20 cricket.
Yeah.
And look, that's the same thing. He goes, it was into the third thing, into the deck wins. Australia's got all those into the deck bowlers. It looks like it's going to be good for the Caribbean.
Stoinis bowled well, I thought.
Yeah, Stoinis is going to be good. Hazelwood does his thing. Cummins, I've got to say, like a couple of months ago, we were like, no, come on in the T20. So come on in T20 cricket hadn't really offered much.
Yeah.
He's just gone to the IPL for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And the old boys kissed on the dicks, figured out how to play T20 cricket, and now he's unplayable on those surfaces.
Yeah.
So, and why did we doubt it? So
because we can.
Yeah.
Because we can.
Okay, hashtag asktgc. Did I
it.
even get it up? Do I have $1?
I can probably get it. No one say anything.
No, just keep it here. So now I got it. This is from Billy the Kid 22117. So 22,117.
Yeah.
Hashtag asktgc. With this T20 World Cup being played on pitches and outfields which have never been. Sorry. With this T20 World Cup being played on pitches and outfields which have never seen the sport before, therefore leading to scores which are completely unders according to the current T20 landscape, is this just the American home advantage? And is America an international powerhouse? Why do I care so much? Why do I feel like my opinion matters? Should there be more home advantages in T20 cricket? Or should we all make pitches flat because many big 6 high score equals good or some shit? Cheers.
Well, that's actually captures nicely the theme and tone of the show of like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Is this good? Is anything good? What's a good score? What's a good deck? Where are these games being played?
Yeah.
What's a Caribbean?
Yep.
What's a West Indie? Mm-hmm.
Where's that country?
Yeah, where's that country? America home advantage.
I mean, I love Billy the Kid just going, it's been played on pitches which has never seen the sport before. I think so. The World Cup isn't in the West Indies to Billy the Kid. The World Cup's only in one place.
Yeah. Probably can guess where.
Yeah, yeah.
That one came in from.
You don't guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Why do I feel like my opinion matters? But fucked if I know, Billy. You shouldn't.
You're a fucking megalomaniac.
And we've been trying to tell you for a very long time.
This whole operation has been to tell Billy the Kid he's got
Megalomania.
megalomania.
Megalomania. He suffers from it.
He suffers from a god complex.
A messiah complex.
He's a YouTube commenter who thinks he's God.
That's right. I was watching a clip about Jordan calling himself Black Jesus the other day. It's Billy the Kid, but for YouTube commentary. Don't mess with Black Jesus.
I think we can all agree that Nasty Badger is Black Jesus.
Yeah, that's true. How are you, Nasty? And settle down. Fuck's sake.
Well, if you've woken up in Australia, all I can say is that if you're happy, just settle down, okay?
Yeah.
If you're from Afghanistan and you've just dismantled, New Zealand, just settle down. If your team has won a game in this World Cup and that makes you happy, just settle down.
Settle
okay?
down, mate.
Settle down, mate. Jesus Christ, Black Jesus, eh?